Here we see the pelvic cavity, which is otherwise known as the true pelvis. It has an oblique superior border, which is called the pelvic inlet. And at the bottom of the pelvic cavity is a bunch of muscles, some of which are collectively known as the pelvic floor. And we'll be going through these pelvic floor muscles in this video. Their main functions are to support the abdominal and pelvic viscera, to maintain continence of urine and feces, to assist voiding, defecation, sexual activity, and childbirth. The most significant contributors are the levator ani, which consists of three muscles: the pubococcygeus, puborectalis, and iliococcygeus. If we remove the pelvic bones now to get a better look, they're shaped like a bowl, or a hammock if you like. And they collectively insert on the anococcygeal raphe, which is a fibrous ridge in the midline of the pelvis, just posterior to the rectum. And we then have another muscle, coccygeus, posteriorly to them. So when these muscles contract together, when you're doing your Kegels, for instance, they tighten inward and the outlets of these pelvic organs are constricted, which is the rectum here, the vagina here, as this is a female model, and the bladder here. Immediately lateral to the levator ani are the ischiorectal fossae, which are spaces with fat and with other various tissues in. They act as a sort of cushion for these dome-shaped muscles, allowing a bit of space for the dome to expand into, if necessary. A big bowel evacuation might be one example. So we then have the perineal membrane, a sheet of connective tissue running between the ischiopubic rami on either side. Deep to that is the external urethral sphincter, as well as the deep transverse perineal muscles. And superficial to the perineal membrane, so closer to the skin, we have the remaining pelvic floor muscles. Bulbospongiosis takes on this shape in females, and then round the back we have the superficial transverse perineal muscles. You might have had your eye on this guy in the middle there, that's the perineal body, which acts as an insertion point for the ladder muscles we just mentioned, among other things. Last but not least, we have around here the anal sphincter muscles, which also has fibers joining to the perineal body and to the anococcygeal raphe. One of the more common pathologies associated with the pelvic floor is vaginal prolapse. This occurs when the pelvic floor muscles loosen and weaken, associated as well with disruption of the connective tissue supports around them. Now this U-shaped space here we call the urogenital diaphragm. And if it's inadequately supported, the vagina can move down towards or even through this diaphragm, which can cause pretty bad discomfort for that person. So the vagina will extend through here because the pelvic muscles aren't holding it in. Okay, that's all for now. I highly recommend you click the link in the video description to look around this model yourself.